Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 363 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin sat down on the head of the statue. He knew that the reason why Master Ashenpine was able to restore his body and gain that lightning mark had a great connection to this stone statue. One of Master Ashenpine's blood-nascent souls cultivated the cultivation method left in this statue. Due to his ninefold comprehension power, he barely obtained part of the inheritance left in this stone statue. Now Wang Lin had absorbed a majority of that inheritance during their battle with his command over thunder, and it was gathered in his right eye. At this moment, he took a deep breath and his divine sense surrounded the statue. The lightning came out from his right eye and surrounded him. Then the lightning mark on the statue flashed intensely and popping sounds echoed. A faint roar echoed. Wang Lin's eyes were closed as his divine sense surrounded the stone statue and lightning surrounded him. He had an ancient thunder dragon origin soul and had control over the heavenly thunder. All thunder had to listen to his command. However, the lightning from the statue gave off an ancient aura and was filled with pride. It moved around the statue and continued to collide with the thunder Wang Lin controlled. From a distance, one could only see ball of thunder surrounding the statue as lightning arched everywhere. The thunderous rumbles of thunder continued to echo. This was a battle between lightning and thunder. It was battle for control. Wang Lin didn't comprehend it like Master Ashenpine. He didn't conform to the lightning mark of the stone statue to comprehend lightning. He didn't yield to the lightning mark like a servant and borrowed it to increase his comprehension. Master Ashenpine was like a beggar that had waited for an unknown amount of time to obtain the little remaining power of lightning to turn it into his own spell. It even allowed Master Ashenpine to summon the seventh spirit of the sealed realm that could injure Wang Lin's ancient god body. Master Ashenpine had chosen a path of submission. He saw this statue as a god and had one of his nascent souls comprehend and worship it. There was no danger in this path. As long as you were worthy, you could obtain it. But how could Wang Lin choose this path? He even dared to defy the heavens. He did as he pleased as he traveled the world and dared to fight the heavens. He had defied the heavens to form his Tao and dared to compete with the heavens. He would never worship this mere statue like Master Ashenpine did, even if the lightning inside the statue was heaven-shaking and could summon the seventh spirit of the sealed realm. What he wanted was for the lightning in the statue to yield. Yield under him. He didn't want to comprehend the lightning in the statue, he wanted to absorb it all. Make it worship him. This was his pride, the pride of a heaven-defying cultivator and the dignity of an ancient god. Out of the countless clans in the ancient world, could any match up to the ancient god clan? Like the moon-devouring clan. Wang Lin had learned from Ling that they were but servants of the ancient gods. If the moon-devouring clan was like this, then this lightning-marked clan, which seemed to also be a clan of the outer realm, also had to yield to him. Wang Lin opened his eyes and revealed an extremely tyrannical gaze. He let out a cold snort and his right hand smashed down on the head of the stone statue. A thunderous rumble echoed, but the statue didn't collapse. Instead, an earth-shattering bolt of lighting shot up to the sky and then turned into a lightning dragon that charged at Wang Lin. When it rushed over, all the surrounding lightning was absorbed by it. It closed in on Wang Lin with a fierce and mad aura. This lighting dragon was fierce, but Wang Lin was even more fierce. This lighting dragon was crazy, but Wang Lin was 10 times, 100 times more crazy. The moment it closed in, thunder flashed in Wang Lin's right eye and shot out. A vortex appeared between his eyebrows and the ancient thunder dragon descended into the seven-colored realm. With one roar, Wang Lin's ancient thunder dragon origin soul collided with the lightning dragon and began to devour it like crazy. In this constant devour, the stars of an ancient god vaguely appeared behind the vortex and the power of an ancient god filled his body. His right hand mercilessly reached forward and the image of an ancient god appeared. Wang Lin grabbed the lightning dragon and mercilessly squeezed. While the lightning dragon was fighting with Wang Lin's origin soul, its body trembled and it let out a roar as it attempted to struggle free. However, the ancient god hand held it firmly, and as it squeezed, large amounts of lightning shot out. Just at this moment, Wang Lin's origin soul shot out and devoured this lightning dragon before returning to his body. The thunder in his right eye became several-fold stronger. This made Wang Lin's entire body become blurry, but his right eye gave off an intense glow. Any thunder in the world must obey my command. Wang Lin's voice was calm, but an invisible aura spread out. All the scattered lightning immediately gathered inside Wang Lin's eye to form a lightning mark. The moment the lightning mark appeared in Wang Lin's right eye, a large amount of cracks appeared on the stone statue. It started at the feet and quickly spread like crazy. They were like dragons charging at Wang Lin, who was on the head of the statue. The cracking sounds were earth-shaking and there were bright flashes coming from within the cracks. The statue seemed like it was going to fragment, but it remained motionless. There was lightning moving within the cracks, and it instantly closed in on Wang Lin. A thunderous rumble echoed as the lightning moved like countless sliver snakes around Wang Lin's body. It formed a giant ball of lightning that was more than 1,000 feet wide. Wang Lin was inside the ball of lightning. The lightning struggled and refused to be controlled by Wang Lin. Then it began to contract like crazy toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin let out a cold snort and lightning surrounded his body. Although his cultivation level couldn't match the stone statue, his origin soul was an ancient thunder dragon. He was the master of thunder in this world. As long as it was thunder, it wasn't worthy enough to defy him. This had nothing to do with cultivation, it was a battle of thunder. The ancient thunder dragons were given the right to control thunder by the heavenly Tao. Wang Lin didn't believe in the heavens and would use his own Tao to steal the right to command thunder from the heavens. The stone statue was the ancestor of the Scatter Thunder clan. Although he was dead, he had spent his life with thunder as his companion and had almost become thunder. The lightning mark between his eyebrows refused to yield. It was rumored that the original ancestor of the Scatter Thunder clan was a bolt of thunder, a heaven-defying bolt of thunder that wouldn't yield even to the heavens. If others worshipped him, then that person would gain the right to control thunder. However, if that person resisted, they would be destroyed by thunder. However, Wang Lin was going to resist. Thunder flashed in his right eye and the ancient thunder dragon origin soul flew out. As the ball of lightning closed in, it let out a roar. The roar contained the majesty to control all thunder in the world. The ball of lightning continued to contract, but it stopped 10 feet away from Wang Lin. There was a thunderous rumble, but it wasn't able to shrink even 1 more inch. Wang Lin had already stood up. He looked like a thunder celestial. The aura of an ancient god emerged from his body. If an ancient god and thunder could fuse, then he was a thunder ancient god. Wang Lin sent out a divine sense message. Yield or be destroyed. He knew that the lightning around him wasn't ordinary, this lightning contained its own will. If had will, it was a spirit. This lightning was a thunder spirit formed by the will of the person that died. Rumbling sounds echoed. The ball of lightning around Wang Lin seemed to tremble under the might of thunder coming from Wang Lin. Also, under the impact of Wang Lin's ancient god aura, it yielded. The ball of lightning turned into rays of lightning and charged toward the ancient thunder dragon origin soul. It let out a heaven-shaking roar and suddenly grew larger. The stone statue trembled as if it was going to collapse. Wang Lin took a step forward and stepped into the void. He turned around and stared at the lightning mark between the eyebrows of the statue that still hadn't dissipated. From now on, your clan won't be able to fight with me for the right over thunder. Wang Lin's right eye lit up and the ancient thunder dragon origin soul let out a roar as it coiled around him. It fused with the thunder from his eye and charged at the lightning mark on the statue. The dragon on the lightning mark between the statue's eyebrows and the statue trembled even more violently. Just at the moment the dragon landed, the eyes of the stone statue lit up and Wang Lin saw a star system within. There was a giant formation that was so large, it covered many star fields. There were cultivators outside it wearing strange clothes. It was obvious they weren't cultivators. They had looks of indifference, sarcasm, and disdain as they stared inside the formation. The inside of the formation was filled with celestial spiritual energy and origin energy ripples. Countless ancient chi cultivators and celestials were attacking the formation like crazy in an attempt to break out from the formation. However, this formation was extremely strange and was difficult to break. No matter how much these cultivators and celestials attacked, the formation didn't move at all. Some of the celestials even gave up their lives and exploded, but they didn't dent the formation one bit. A sense of sorrow and despair shrouded the inside of the formation. There were 9 rays of light flashing inside the formation. One of them was an axe. As it flew through the air, anyone that dared to break through died. Wang Lin even saw many Qi cultivators decide to self-destruct in sorrow to stop this heaven-splitting axe, but they failed. There was another ray of light among the 9. It was a bolt of thunder. Everywhere it went, whether it was cultivators or celestials, everyone died. The indifference and disdain in the gazes of the people outside became even stronger. It was as if they nobles were looking at ant-like mortals. I refuse to let this be. I refuse to let this be. There will be a day when a future generation of cultivators will break this formation and cause all you outsiders to become extinct. Rivers of blood will flow in your outer realm. A celestial that was hit by the thunder let out a roar before his death. The scene from the eyes of the statue dissipated. The moment the scene dissipated, thunder flew out from the formation. It seemed to break through the void, the heavens, and time. It charged directly into Wang Lin's right eye. Thunderous rumbles echoed inside his mind and he stumbled back several dozen feet. Then he stared at the stone statue with a ferocious expression. The stone statue suddenly collapsed into a pile of rubble and kicked up a lot of dust. Outer realm, for some reason, when Wang Lin saw that scene from the statue, his blood started boiling. When he saw the battle between all heaven and the alliance, countless cultivators died, but he didn't have this feeling. He witnessed a large calamity that arose due to a treasure, causing the deaths of countless cultivators, but he didn't have this feeling. He had seen the large factions inside the alliance fight amongst each other, but he didn't have this feeling. However, at this moment, he didn't even know why, but when he saw that scene, especially when all those celestial ancestors died, he felt blood rushing to his head. The cries of the celestial before death seemed to echo in his ears. I refuse to let this be. I refuse to let this be. There will be a day when a future generation of cultivators will break this formation and cause all you outsiders to become extinct. Rivers of blood will flow in your outer realm. Staring at the collapsed statue, the lightning mark in Wang Lin's right eye continued to flash. After a long time, he turned around and flew toward the mountain surrounded by the time restriction. When Wang Lin absorbed the lightning mark, the youth with the lightning mark from the outer realm turned extremely pale and his body faintly started trembling. He clearly felt that there had been a battle of thunder before him. One side seemed to be thunder from his bloodline and the other side was also thunder, but that thunder shook his mind. He had almost lost control over the thunder inside his body. The 2 people beside him obviously didn't have such a strong reaction, but the youth with the crescent moon mark was still gloomy. He seemed to be thinking of something. As for the person with the fire mark, his eyes shined and he didn't hide the greed in his eyes. What he was after was the power of fire he had noticed when Wang Lin's mind swept by. After a long time, the 3 of them appeared at the place where the stone statue collapsed. Looking at the stone statue, the youth with the lighting mark became even more pale, but there was also anger in his expression. He could feel that this statue was his ancestor. Although he didn't know why it was here, the thunder spirit the ancestor had left behind was forcibly taken by someone not long ago. However, after the anger faded, he was even more terrified. What do we do? The youth with the lightning mark looked at his 2 companions. The person with the fire mark slowly said, if the 3 of us all release our seals to reach our peak power, it will be possible to kill this person. The person with the lightning mark hesitated for a bit and then softly said, how about we leave and report this spatial crack to the elders and let them deal with it? I have a bad feeling. Wealth can only be obtained through danger. The youth with the crescent moon mark seemed to have made up his mind and clenched his teeth. The youth with the lightning mark silently pondered. A moment later, he revealed a fierce gaze and no longer hesitated. He searched for traces of thunder and rushed out. The other 2 followed, and they disappeared into the fog. Wang Lin moved like lightning through the fog and quickly arrived at where he fought Master Ashen Pine for the bottle. He looked at the time restriction before him and his eyes lit up. If this restriction hadn't been broken or had been broken a long time ago, it would have been very difficult for Wang Lin to open it unless he was willing to sacrifice treasures. However, this restriction had been broken just a few months ago, and although Wang Lin was in a dazed state when his mind passed over it, he still remembered an invisible crack on the restriction. This crack was the opening Master Ashen Pine and the old woman in green had made. I only need to open that crack again. It shouldn't be hard. Wang Lin's hand formed seals and countless annihilation restrictions flew out. They landed on the time restriction and the light screen began to ripple. Wang Lin didn't even blink, and his divine sense spread out, carefully observing. Shortly after, his eyes narrowed as he found the opening from before. Although this crack had healed, the time restriction here was only several months old. Unless countless years passed, this flaw would remain. This was one of the drawbacks of a time restriction. After finding the crack, Wang Lin's right hand reached out and the crystal sword appeared. The moment the sword appeared, the aura of a pseudo-nirvana void treasure appeared. There was a flash of light and the sword shot at the crack. A thunderous rumble immediately echoed and ripples violently appeared on the time restriction. A fine crack appeared as the sword approached. At this moment, the crystal sword closed in, and under Wang Lin's control, endless sword energy spread out, causing an even louder rumble. Just at this moment, Wang Lin jumped up and his right hand reached at the air. The trident suddenly appeared, giving off an endless, black glow. Wang Lin crashed down at the crack like a meteor. He was very fast and instantly closed in. The trident immediately stabbed into the crack, and a powerful force rushed into Wang Lin's body. However, Wang Lin let out a cold snort and his ancient god power filled his body. His right hand mercilessly pushed, and as popping sounds echoed, the trident pierced through the restriction. Then he left the trident and created a whole dozens of feet wide using the crack that had just healed several months ago. Wang Lin's left hand reached out and put away the crystal sword. He then rushed into the crack and charged at the mountain peak. As for the stone gate with the lightning mark, Wang Lin only looked at it before withdrawing his gaze. He soon arrived at the top of the mountain and swept his trident. A thunderous rumble echoed and a spatial crack quickly appeared before him. He knew the exact location because of Master Ashenpine's memories and because his mind had swept past this location when he was comprehending Tao. The crack appeared and Wang Lin directly walked inside. Shortly after he entered, the three outer realm youths appeared outside the restriction. They looked at each other before clenching their teeth and entering the crack Wang Lin had opened. They headed for the mountain. When Wang Lin entered the mysterious space, he immediately saw the giant stone tablet. His eyes narrowed as he walked forward, and his gaze was pointed at the bottom of the tablet. He saw half a skeleton that was nailed to the stone tablet with two seven-colored nails. The black light seemed to be faintly moving around the skeleton, and it made the words on the bones give off a strange attraction that could make one go mad. Wang Lin walked closer step by step. He sealed his divine sense and didn't look at the skeleton. Instead, his gaze fell on the stone tablet. It was made of unknown material and gave off an ancient aura. After carefully looking at it, Wang Lin frowned. He felt like the material of the stone tablet was familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had seen something similar to it. After pondering a bit, Wang Lin's gaze swept over the skeleton. Even though he was prepared, he was still caught by it. However, he was prepared and recovered after retreating a few steps. His eyes lit up and he didn't hesitate to open his storage space. The golden word, battle, flew out from his storage space. The moment it appeared, the golden light from the skeleton began to fly out. The black and golden light from the skeleton constantly changed. In the end, the golden light flashed and flew out from the skeleton and went into the word, battle. At this moment, a bright, golden light filled the void. At this moment, the golden word, battle, flew directly to Wang Lin and landed between his eyebrows. Wang Lin's mind trembled. This old man is Zhong Xingye. I know the sovereign will try to force me to yield in the future. However, as a cultivator of the all-heaven star system, I'd rather die than work with people of the outer realm. One who inherits my Tao, comprehend this battle intent and slaughter your way to the outer realm in the future. Offer their blood to my spirit. Wang Lin's heart was filled with a monstrous battle intent, and countless scenes of Zhong Xingye battling the world appeared in his mind. The countless images contained a powerful comprehension toward battle, and as his comprehension deepened, his domain began to fuse with this battle intent, causing a startling change. Just as Wang Lin was comprehending, a distortion appeared in the space he was in and the three youths stepped inside. The youth with the fire mark stared greedily at Wang Lin. At this close distance, he could feel the fierce fire origin energy inside Wang Lin. If I devour him, I can evolve. The youth with the lightning mark was startled as he looked at Wang Lin. He could feel the powerful thunder from Wang Lin, but he also saw that Wang Lin was in a mysterious state. A heavenly opportunity. Only the youth with the crescent moon mark suppressed the shock in his mind when he saw Wang Lin's back. His pupils shrank and a distant memory resurfaced in his heart. It indeed was him. The three of them charged at Wang Lin at the same time with powerful killing intent. The three of them all formed seals and mercilessly hit their foreheads with their palms. There were three popping sounds and their bodies all went through shocking changes. The youth with the lightning mark expanded to hundreds of feet large and was covered in lightning. The youth with the fire mark suddenly grew a pair of fire wings and a single horn appeared on his head. His expression revealed pain, but it was ferocious. The youth with the crescent moon mark was the most strange. His body didn't change much, but his skin turned into the color of the moon. This crystal color became a stark contrast against the golden light. However, just as they charged in and closed in, Wang Lin suddenly turned around. His eyes became clear and revealed a hint of mockery. It was the same mockery the Outer Realm cultivators had toward the Sealed Realm cultivators. I'm a hero both in life and death. Cultivators like us never shrink from a fight. The last words of Zhong Xingye when facing the sovereign appeared in Wang Lin's mind. Cultivators like us never shrink from a fight. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with battle intent. The three people were all from the Outer Realm, and the scene from the stone statue had caused his blood to boil. At this moment, there was no karma, only killing intent. The more he learned about the past, the stronger this killing intent became. The youth with the lightning mark was the fastest, and he closed in. He was originally only a peak Nirvana cleanser cultivator, but after the strange transformation, his cultivation level increased and he unexpectedly reached the early stage of Nirvana Shatterer. Then it broke past the early stage of Nirvana Shatterer to reach the mid-stage. Wang Lin had never seen this kind of ability before in his life. This wasn't them hiding their cultivation levels, they had borrowed power from the heavens. To be more exact, this wasn't the first time Wang Lin had fought with the people of the Outer Realm. In the void with the Moongazer Serpent, he had already fought with them, but back then Wang Lin was too weak to attract their attention and he had no control over his own fate. However, now Wang Lin was qualified to look at the three fiercely charging at him with disdain and mockery. The youth with the lightning mark was covered in lightning, and as he moved forward, popping sounds echoed. He seemed to become lightning as he quickly closed in. His hands formed a seal and the lighting around him formed a giant figure. This figure was more than 1,000 feet tall and was covered in blue lightning. It had a large lightning mark between its eyebrows and its gaze could shake the mind of anyone who met it. Thunder collapse, the youth with the lightning mark roared as he closed in on Wang Lin. Thunder, the mockery in Wang Lin's eyes became even stronger. Thunder flashed in his right eye and the lightning mark also appeared in his right eye. He took a step forward. At this moment, the world seemed to slow down in Wang Lin's eyes. Everything seemed to be underwater and almost stopped. The three people before him, even the youth with lightning, were so slow that they were insignificant. With one step, before a thunderous rumble could echo as he broke the sound barrier, he already arrived before the person with the lightning mark. He raised his right hand and smashed it into the youth's chest. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, 4 strikes. In a short moment, Wang Lin's 2 fingers formed a sword and struck 4 times. Rumble, 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 rumble. The youth with the lightning mark turned pale, then shock filled his eyes and he coughed out blood. His chest was a bloody mess and large amount of lightning was flashing on his chest. The lightning quickly spread like a net and surrounded his body. This happened in a flash, It was so fast, no one had time to react. To the remaining two people from the outer realm, Wang Lin had just turned around and hadn't moved at all with that look of mockery in his eyes. However, in that instant, one of their companions coughed out blood and was thrown back. It was also at this moment that the thunderous rumble arrived. Thunder Ancestor, lend me the power to devour this sealed realm cultivator. Popping sounds came from the youth with the lightning mark, and more than half of the bones in his body were broken. He was thrown back few hundred feet and the lightning around him collapsed. There was also a lightning net around him that seemed to seal him. Covered in blood, his head jerked up and he let out an earth-shattering roar. It was filled with madness. However, in Wang Lin's eyes, this madness was filled with fear and despair. The moment the person with the lightning mark roared, the illusion around him began to turn corporeal. Endless lightning appeared out of nowhere and gathered toward that illusion. As the lightning gathered, the illusionary figure, which was 1,000 feet tall, became like the incarnation of heavenly thunder. Wang Lin's expression remained indifferent and he took one more step forward. With this step, his true and false domain spread out. This step seemed to land on the heartbeat of the youth with the lightning mark. A thunderous rumble echoed and more blood gushed out from his chest. His right hand gripped his chest. His heart had collapsed due to Wang Lin's domain. Wang Lin didn't even look at this person. With one step, he seemed to raise to the heavens, and he arrived next to the large figure and casually hit it with his right palm. At the same time, thunder flashed inside his right eye. The lightning mark flew out from his eye and landed between the eyebrows of the illusion. From now on, your clan is deprived of the right to fight with me over the control of thunder. His voice was gloomy but also filled with a sense of majesty. It was like law and was filled with the determination to seal a clan. It was as if he was taking back the control that had been given to the Scatter Thunder clan. The illusionary figure trembled and collapsed into endless lightning. It unexpected turned into lightning and descended on the youth. Popping sounds echoed as the youth's body instantly collapsed and turned to ashes. His origin soul was tied up by the lightning. When Wang Lin turned around, all the lightning and thunder was absorbed by him. The youth's origin soul was pulled into Wang Lin's right eye as well. The lightning mark in Wang Lin's right eye became even more clear. All of this happened in an instant. The pupils of the person with the fire mark shrank and his eyes became filled with unimaginable fear. He couldn't help but pause and was about to retreat. Wang Lin turned around and his gaze fell on the youth with the fire mark. Fire! The disdain in his eyes became even stronger. A monstrous flame appeared in his right eye and a sea of flames covering thousands of feet around him appeared. The youth with the fire mark became pale. He wanted to retreat, but he was surrounded by the sea of fire. He struggled and let out a roar. The wings made of fire behind him waved and a large amount of fire appeared to form a firestorm. After forming the firestorm, he charged at Wang Lin. As he moved forward, his hands formed a seal and strange chants came from his mouth. Even more fire came out from his body, forming a wall of fire that smashed toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin waved his hand and the sea of flames seemed to boil. The entire sea of flames closed in on the youth with the fire mark. This was a duel between fire and fire. The two fires from the same origin but controlled by two different people collided in the blink of an eye. A series of heaven-shaking rumbles echoed, and with a bang, the youth with the fire mark charged out. The fire wings, which were similar to the wings of a vermilion bird, gave off a purple fire as he closed in on Wang Lin. Not a human or a vermilion bird. Just a deformed resident of the outer realm. The fire from Wang Lin's left eye covered his whole body and the vermilion bird armor appeared around him. At this moment, he was like an ancient fire god. The moment the youth with the fire mark saw this, he became crazy and his eyes filled with disbelief. He exclaimed, "Holy armor! Burn!" Wang Lin's eyes revealed indifference and killing intent. He lifted his left hand and pointed at the youth with the fire mark. With this, the youth's body trembled violently, and the terror in his eyes was indescribable. He let out a miserable scream as the fire burst from inside his body and he burned himself. As a member of the Fire Sparrow clan, he had been accompanied by fire his whole life. He could have never imagined that one day he would be betrayed by this fire. The fire he had always freely controlled had completely betrayed him, as if it had met its true master. His miserable screams echoed as his body was burned to ashes. However, after his body turned to ashes and his origin soul was burning, he let out a chant. I summon the ancestral spirit as a member of the Fire Sparrow clan. The moment his voice echoed, his origin soul collapsed. The specks of light turned into fire and turned into an illusionary vermilion bird. This vermilion bird was black and was covered in an aura of hostility. It didn't even seem like a vermilion bird, it was more like a fire bird that was enlarged several-fold. It was filled with hostility as it let out a roar and charged at Wang Lin. Wang Lin let out a cold shot and his left eye shined. The cry of a real vermilion bird echoed from inside his body. At the same time, a white vermilion bird appeared around him. This was the true vermilion bird. The moment it appeared, it stared at the giant, black firebird and revealed a look of contempt. Without the need for Wang Lin's order, it charged out with a cry. At this moment, half of the world was covered in flames, and it attempted to devour the large firebird. The giant, black firebird became even more hostile, but it showed obvious intent to retreat. From now on, your clan is deprived of the right to fight with me over the control of fire. As Wang Lin's words echoed, the vermilion bird and the black firebird collided. A thunderous rumble echoed and the black firebird immediately collapsed, unable to resist at all. It was as if it had met its ancestor, or when the fake meets the real. The fire the black firebird released after it collapsed was immediately devoured by the vermilion bird, and even its spirit was devoured. At this moment, all the fire in this world belonged to Wang Lin. The vermilion bird let out a cry. It was in high spirits. It unexpectedly showed sign of a third awakening. The flames around its body burned even higher and stronger. This scene caused the expression of the youth with the crescent moon mark to change drastically, and he finally turned pale. He was covered in cold sweat. He couldn't even get a clear look at Wang Lin's figure before everything just ended in an instant. He thought about how this person had seriously injured his teacher in the void, even though his teacher said later that this person wasn't even strong enough to withstand one blow. Without any hesitation, the youth with the crescent moon mark immediately retreated like crazy to escape from this terrifying existence. It was as if the closer he was to this person, the more nervous he became and the closer his mind came to collapsing. Wang Lin coldly stared at the youth and uttered words that made the youth lose his wits. A mere slave clan dares to call themselves the heavenly Tao before me. This video will end here.